Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm, as always, on Friday, 15 minutes early. This is Philosophy 1010 at Largo, Maryland. And what I've decided to try to do here, because of the odd nature of having a Friday morning class, that is basically all morning, is to do like a capsule account of the class before you guys even get here. And and I'll put it up on the web in our class once again before we even start. But let me just get into this. So that's what we're doing now. The last thing we talked about last Friday was ontology. I made the point of saying that philosophers have this sort of odd, unused word to cover really a lot of things. That's exactly where we stopped last time. Now I want to pick that up this morning and return us to the oppositions or dualisms or binaries. I never know how to say that in English. And we have four of them. Being and becoming, ideal and the real, good and evil, and truth and corruption. Notice I have quotation marks around corruption. I'll talk to you about that. That has something to do with the nature of truth in that is in the Western tradition, that it's been kind of neglected, that is very neglected. And I want to talk to you about that. Okay, so all those oppositions, as we've seen, are based on the notion of permanence and change. I should have the word permanence there, but it's early in the morning, so I'm sort of only 80% functioning myself. Okay, and then I want to talk to you about time, and that's something that is really important, and we don't really talk about very seriously. That is, what is our human experience of time? We look at the clock and we think that's kind of the standard, but actually humans have their own personal, very subjective sense of time. And what I want to show you is there's a connection between the way you experience time and the way philosophers are mapping out their notion of reality. I want to talk to you a little bit about the idea of forgetting, quote unquote, being, and then I want to start talking about philosophy in general. And my basic point here, how am I doing? This is 2 minutes, this is good, is that philosophy is two things at the same time that don't seem to go together. On the one hand, it's really abstract, and they use words like ontology and kind of weird oppositions and things like that. It's also really simple. I mean, it's one of the most simple subjects at one level. And people get confused about philosophy and find it a little bit off-putting because they don't see the conflation of this abstraction in the sense that it's actually extremely, extremely simple at base. And I'm going to explain why. And then finally, the conclusion today is about mystery. And ultimately, philosophy is very much like human experience in general, that there's a level of incredible mysteriousness to it. That is, why are things like that? Why has philosophy had all this continuity for basically 3,000 years? And it has to do with the nature of human life and, of course, the nature of the Western philosophical tradition. And then I want to talk to you about my sense of philosophy and how philosophy, I think, is the most important topic and is especially important for people living at Prince George, in Largo, Maryland, before an important political election in 2016. Okay, that's our course for today anyway.